This segment is going to be about beliefs. Now, first and foremost, we got to kind of get in our ideas or define what a belief is. And a belief basically is an intangible idea, okay, that one either adopts into their schematics, their personal schemas, or their mainframe about a particular idea, okay? And so a belief can be a very defining thing for a human being or an individual. Now, with that in mind, we have to kind of look at what ideas and what beliefs that are the most prevalent things out there right now and how they define or shape our reality or our world, okay? So we have any number of religions out there right now, and most of those religions talk about roughly the same thing, right? We got some of them which from the Abrahamic faiths, okay, promote the monotheism, okay, so it's one God and that one supreme God being essentially a focal point of love. I mean, that's the basis of it, but I do see a lot of other things, of course, where they call him a jealous or angry God, angry creator. A lot of people have got many ideas of what this purported God would or would not do, okay, and that's the whole thing with beliefs, is that a lot of people interpret things to their own schematics. And so oftentimes what is unfortunate is that people will also judge others as to whether they have the same beliefs or not. Okay, so here's where beliefs can be very defining and sometimes very dangerous. So one has to be very careful, extremely careful. And when it comes to a belief, okay, you got to understand that these are the very things that either push forward direct action, okay, or they will literally cause a person to not make any action whatsoever. So one has to decide for themselves what kind of beliefs that they put into their own personal mainframe that sets up a definition for how they enact in life. Most people put beliefs in with morality and with beliefs, moral codes, that sort of thing. Beliefs aren't necessarily morally based, okay? And morality isn't necessarily what I would call based upon positivity either, okay? Beliefs oftentimes set limitations, okay, or thresholds of which a person will not cross because of those beliefs. Now, personally, I use unconditional love as my guide for how I enact in society. So it's not a belief that keeps me from killing a person, okay? It's not a belief that keeps me from stealing, okay? It's because I realize that every single individual out there should be treated the way I expect to be treated, which means I myself would not want to be harmed. I myself would not want to be stolen from. I myself would not want, well, we could go into the entire, I guess, 10 Commandments sort of ordeal, but in order to save some time, I'm not going to go that route, but I will say this. Unconditional love is how I approach my treatment of other human beings on the planet, and not just other human beings, but other beings in general. I tend to see everything with respect, and I tend to see everything as sentient, okay? Regardless of whether a person has activated their circuitry to where they're evolving or to whether they're becoming more in tune is not relevant to my treatment of them. Okay, because I realize that just by being here, that human beings have overcome insurmountable odds. For every single person that is here on this planet, it beat out a few million souls during the process of getting here. Think of it in terms of, we can look at something as basic as the process of a sperm fertilizing an egg. There's millions of them. millions of them that go towards one direction. They have one goal. Okay? Those are souls literally vying to get into this place in order to learn or to have the physical experience. So for every single human being that is sitting here on this planet, you have to look at them and say, wow, they worked to be here. Okay? The fact that they're still alive and in front of you also shows that they've overcome quite a bit. A lot of people get taken out of the life equation rather quickly. So, human beings are very special individuals, and every single thing that shares our space out here with us are very special. So that is how I enact my sense of morality, is by realizing that everything is connected to myself and everything deserves respect for being here or being in front of me. Okay? Sometimes I can get impatient with people, just like anyone else, and sometimes, I may appear as if I don't have time, or if I'm very busy because I have things that are going on. But there's not a single person here that I don't believe is not worth my time or isn't an amazing individual. Okay, because everybody here, and as far as I'm concerned, are put on equal thresholds. There are some people who have more access than others, or some people who are naturally prone than other people at certain things. But when it comes down to it, we're all put down here, and we're all put on relatively an even scale. Everything is always in a state of balance. So, now, if one is going to adopt a belief system, okay, because the thing is keep in mind that beliefs are very life-changing perceptions of which can be manipulated. And this is the reason why I don't have much in the way of beliefs. If one are going to have any sort of beliefs, they should have beliefs within themselves in order to be able to properly overcome any situation, okay? To be able to apply themselves and succeed in any given situation, okay? And to be able to bring out the best from others in any given situation. Enact with love, enact with respect, okay? That's what a person should believe in. If they're going to believe in anything, believe in those things about yourself that help you become a benefactor for your environment or your surroundings. Okay, so for me, I don't have much in the way of beliefs. I really don't. After having been on this planet for X amount of years, I'm getting ready to turn 41 soon, and having had many, many, many beautiful and wonderful experiences here, including being able to tap in with the universe in a harmonious fashion, okay? I've learned not to put my stock into much or to believe in much, okay? I believe in the rule set of the environments that I'm in for the time that I'm in them, and I believe them just enough in order for me to be able to work around them. So what I do is I learn the physics of any given situation, okay, the science of any given situation, and then I learn to hack around that because I don't like the idea or the perception of limitations. Okay, so by my being able to tap into the resources of the environment and to be able to do things, I'm learning how the environment operates, number one, being very aware as I'm doing it and observing every bit of it as I do it, and I learn these things because I realize that by learning them, I can rewrite them in coding. Is that a belief? I don't think so. It's experiential, so it's knowledge. I've been playing with it for so long that whatever system that I'm in at that time, I just go in there and I learn it and I play with it for a while, and then I come out the other end. And then as soon as I get what I believe to be is a good encoding structure to hand back to people so that they're not at the mercy of any given situation or system, then I hand that back to them. The most important code that I have learned while being in this particular system, which is a code that I've known throughout the infinity of space and time, is unconditional love. Unconditional love taps us into our unified nature, okay? Into unity consciousness. If everything is energy, everything is just vibrating, fluctuating frequencies. sits, so everything is still within almost the same space, the same sphere, just vibrating, harmonizing at different pitches, different vibrations, different resonances. That puts us all roughly in the same exact equation. So therefore, I am under no illusion that I'm somehow separate from the ground, this rock, those trees, the bushes, the air, the clouds. Every single bit of this, I am a part of. I am nature. Okay, so I don't require anyone else's belief, and I don't even require my own belief in order to be able to go out and consciously engage with that and know it to be real. So, beliefs are what you make of them. Beliefs are literally points of imagination drawn from the ether that you bring into this particular sphere and adopt as some sort of a creed. Okay? It is up to you what you choose to believe, and I do not try to define for people the reality. I will tell people reality as I know it. Okay? And I've done it for long enough to where I believe that much of what I have discovered within this reality has merit. Okay? So I know this place to be a place of digital capability. I know that it is literally composed of ones and zeros. I know that if I choose to look in and program and grab and use energy, I know that that's going to work. Okay? I know that the sun itself represents what we would call the real atom. Okay? The sun is the only true atom. It literally has electrons, which are our planets, that encircle it and keep it charged. Right now, I'm experiencing a person yelling at the top of their lungs way around the corner. I don't think he has any knowledge as I'm doing this up here, but he's being very loud. Nonetheless, just keep in mind that beliefs are what you make of them, that you yourself have control over how those beliefs can be wielded within your own life. And know that those beliefs can also be limiting. Okay? This is all about love and about being able to go forward within your existence and be able to create at will. Your creatorhood is always affected if you are constantly putting limitations upon yourself or some sort of an anchoring system which binds you. Okay? It's the reason why I tend not to do too much grounding, is because grounding puts you into something and it holds you there. It roots you in. Okay? Grounding is very useful if you're going into upper frequencies or places in which you need to hold on, but in terms of overall capabilities and then usability, grounding tends to be limiting. Now again, they can be very useful if you are going into upper spheres and you want to ground into a particular frequency which is needed or necessary. So, again, beliefs are products of the imagination and what you choose them to be. How far you go is entirely up to you. And so if you tend to put too many shackles around you, you're going to find that you won't be able to go too much further. Okay? So, unconditional love to you. And this is my opinion of beliefs.